Hey, call me Jack Sheppard. To the gentry of London, I am a villain, a housebreaker, a phantom in the night. To the common folk, I am a hero, a trickster who defies the rich and the powerful. But as I sit in this cold cell, the irons heavy on my wrists, I am just a man remembering how it all began. I was born in Spitalfields, a carpenter's son. Honest work, they said, but the city had other plans for me. My hands were meant for wood and nail, apprentice to a carpenter named Kneebone. He was a decent man, but the city's temptations were a stronger master. It was in a smoky tavern, over a pint of ale, that I met him. Joseph Blake, they called him Blueskin. He had a fire in his eyes and a disdain for the law that matched my own. He spoke of easy coin and a life of freedom. Our first job was a cloth merchant's shop on the Strand. My carpenter's skills were put to a new use that night. The lock was a whisper, the window a sigh. We moved like shadows, our hearts pounding a rhythm of fear and exhilaration. We left with bolts of silk and a purse heavy with shillings. It was the easiest money I had ever made, and it tasted sweeter than any wage. It wasn't just the thrill of the score that captured me. It was her, Elizabeth Lyon. They called her Edgeworth Bess. I saw her first at the St. Giles Fair, her laughter like wind chimes. She was a flower growing in the London mud, beautiful and dangerous. She saw the man, not the thief, and for her, I would have stolen the moon. Our luck, like all things, ran out. I was taken for a petty theft and thrown into St. Giles's roundhouse. The walls were thick, the bars were iron. They thought they had me, but they didn't know my craft. I could see the weakness in every lock, the flaw in every hinge. With a nail and a bit of wire, I unpicked my future. By dawn, I was a free man, the first of many escapes. My escapes made me a legend. The papers called me Jack the Lad. Ballads were sung in my name. But fame is a double-edged sword. It brought me admiration, but it also brought me the unwanted attention of Jonathan Wild, the so-called thief-taker general. He ruled the underworld with an iron fist, and he wanted my head. He saw me not as a rival, but as an affront to his control. They finally caught me and threw me in the castle, the strongest cell in Newgate prison. Chained and shackled, they thought it was the end. But they underestimated a carpenter's ingenuity. I broke my chains, picked multiple locks, climbed through a chimney, and crossed the rooftops of London under a sliver of moon. The city awoke to find my cell empty. I had done the impossible. For a short while, I was free. Bess and I found a small room in Clare Market. We dreamed of a life away from London, perhaps in the Americas. In those quiet moments, holding her hand, I was not the infamous Sheppard, but just a man in love. It was a fragile peace, a stolen moment of sunlight before the final storm. But Wild's net was vast, his spies everywhere. They found me in a gin shop, drunk and careless. The fight was short. This time, the chains were heavier, the guards more numerous. They brought me back to Newgate, not as a prisoner, but as a trophy. Wild had won. My luck had finally, truly, run out. And so I sit here, awaiting the cart to Tyburn. I hear the crowds gathering, some to cheer, some to jeer. I lived my life on my own terms, a short, merry dance against the gallows. I regret nothing but losing Bess. Let them tell my story. Let them remember the carpenter's boy who flew from their cages. My name is Jack Sheppard, and I was free.